What's up, geometry? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're looking at 10.4 inscribed angles. So know what those relationships are between inscribed angles, use those relationships to solve problems, and then also identify relationships that we're seeing. We've got a few definitions to write down first. So if you need to pause at any time, I went ahead and typed in what each definition was. So we're going to start with inscribed angle. Inscribed angle is when it has its vertex on a circle and the sides contain chords of the circle. So I'm going to show you three different types of inscribed angles. The first one we will see when it goes through the center of a circle. So we're going to name this A, B, C. The second option is when we see the inscribed angle going on either side of the center ABC. And then the third example is when we have that center and maybe they're off to the side, still making angle A, B, C. So angle ABC in each one of these is an example of an inscribed angle. And for each one of these, we can find the measurement of arc AC if we just take 2 times the measure of angle B. So whatever that inscribed angle is, to find the corresponding arc to that, we'll just multiply that angle by 2. An intercepting arc is a part of a circle that lies between two lines intersecting it. So I'm going to draw a different example for this one. Here's my circle. We have point C here in the middle, so this is circle C. And then we'll draw a Q point, an R, and an S. So QS right now is the intercepting arc. So QS is intercepted by angle QRS. Okay. Intercepting diameter, we kind of saw it up here, but I'm going to go ahead and draw a new one. Go figure. Intercepting diameter just means we're going to have an intercepting angle or an inscribed angle that goes through the diameter. And what this means is it's going to create a right triangle. So because I'm going through here, I can't even close this off. And this is going to make a right triangle because it's going through the diameter. And then the last one is overlapping arcs. This is when two inscribed angles share the same intercepted arc. So I'm going to draw a normal circle, but then I'm going to draw two intercepting arcs. The first one will be here. We're going to name this one B, A, C. And then the second one we're going to name here as C, D, B. So angle B, I'm going to put that in pink so you can kind of see the differences. Angle BAC and angle CDB are examples of inscribed angles that are overlapping arc BC. And here's BC right here. So notice they're both endpoints are the same from here to here. Okay? Pause at any time. We're going to keep going with some examples. So example 1, we're going to find the measurement of ECD first, and then the measurement of CF. When I'm thinking about the measurement of ECD and the measurement of CF, I'm really thinking like CF might be a little bit easier to decide because CF is this arc here, and CF is being intercepted by this angle CDF. So I can take the measure of angle CDF and times it by 2 to get the measure of the arc CF. So that angle CDF is 40, and 40 times 2 is going to give me 80. Oops. So 80 degrees is my arc measure of CF. Now, ECD is a little bit different. ECD, I saw it as here, so we're going to highlight this orange piece. And this angle is not showing up. Notice it's also not going through the diameter, so we don't know if this is a right triangle or not. So ECD is intercepting arc ED. So if we take the measurement of arc ED, that can be found by taking 1/2 of the measure of angle, 2 times the measure of angle ECD. So we don't know what ECD is, but we do know the measurement of ED's arc is 98. So really, we're trying to divide by 2 here, and we're going to end up getting 49 degrees for ECD's angle, okay? If you want to try this one on your own, you can, but this one is going to be an example of overlapping arcs. So go ahead and give yourself a chance to look at it, and then we'll chat momentarily. All right, overlapping arcs says when 2 inscribed angles share the same intercepted arc. Notice that angle BAC is sharing the intercepted arc with angle CDB. They're both showing that arc of BC. So what we can say is 5x minus 12 is going to be equal to 3x plus 2. Since they're sharing that same arc, their arc measurement would also be the same. So let's go ahead and find the degrees here, and then we'll move forward to find the degrees of the arc. So I'm going to move my x's to the left, numbers to the right. 2x is equal to 14, so x is 7. Great. Now I want to find the arc of BC. So the measurement of arc BC can be found if I just do 2 times the measure of angle BAC, or 2 times the measure of angle BDC. BAC is at 5x minus 12, so I'm going to just plug in the 7 here. 5 times 7 minus 12. 5 times 7 minus 12 is going to give me 23 degrees. So the measurement of BC can be found by taking 2 times 23, which is going to give me 46 degrees. Okay? Flipping it over on the back, now we're going to see a few more different examples. Example 3, we're looking for angle X. This one's pretty easy, X degrees. We know that LMP's angle, or LMN's angle is 67. So I'm going to take 67 times 2 and set it equal to 4x plus 58. That's 134 equals 4x plus 58. I'm going to subtract 58 from both sides. I'm going to get 76 is equal to 4x. So x is 19. And then next I'm looking for the measure of angle JKL. Now this one's a little bit different because I'm missing a complete arc. But I know I can find this arc if I take my full degrees of a circle, 360, and just subtract the 53 and the 65 that I already have. That's going to give me 242 degrees left over. So the major arc of JML is equal to 242 degrees. So my inscribed angle would just be half of that. So I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to get 121 degrees. So angle JKL is 121 degrees. At any point in time, if you want to pause the video, you can try these on your own, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. 5 and 6 are very similar. 5 and 6 are both showing an inscribed angle, but intercepting through the diameter. So we know we are making a right triangle. So I know that all triangles are 180, so 5x minus 4 plus 8x minus 10 plus my 90-degree angle is 180. I combine like terms, so 13x, and then negative 4, negative 10, that's negative 14, plus the 90 is positive 76, equaling 180. I subtracted 76 from both sides. I'm going to get 104 is equal to 13x, and then divide by 13. I'm going to get 8. And then same thing here. My right angle is across from my diameter, so I have 7x minus 5 plus 2x minus 4 plus 90 equals 180, solving for that x piece. 7x and 2x makes 9x. and then -4, a -5, and 90 are going to make 81. So equals 180. Subtracting 81 from both sides, I'm going to get 9x is equal to 99, so x is 11. Okay? The last piece we're going to talk about is finding the missing measures of quadrilaterals. And this one I did in a lot of steps. You may be able to find out different ways to do this, but I started with looking at the angle I was given inside of the quadrilaterals because I'm trying to figure out what else I need. I know that angle PQR is 93 degrees. So the measure, I'm going to start here, step 1, the measure of arc PSR, that means from here all the way around here, that's the two edges of my inscribed angle, is just 93 times 2. And 93 times 2 is 186. Okay? So once I found that, so PSR is 186, and I already have 90 taken care of. So I'm trying to figure out the remaining part of S to R. So if this is 90, that means S to R should be 96. Okay, so I'm figuring out all the missing pieces first. Okay, and then I have this one little missing piece of QR. So to find the measure of arc QR, I took every single one of my numbers in my circle, subtracted it from 360. So 360 minus 126 minus 90 minus the 96 that I just found is going to end up giving me 48 degrees. So QR is 48 degrees, okay? The reason I'm doing this is because I need to be able to use the outside arcs to figure out what my inscribed angles are. So let's look at step 3. Let's do PSR's angle. So step 3, I'm going to look for the angle PSR. So PSR is this angle here, and this is encompassing 48 and 126. So 48 plus 126 is 174. And then to find that inscribed angle, I'm just going to cut that in half. So I'm going to get 87 degrees. Okay. Next, let's use hot pink. Let's do QRS. So angle QRS is encompassing 126 and 90 for QRS. So angle QRS is 126 plus 90, which is 216, and then I'm just going to take that in half to give us 108 degrees for QRS. Now you can do one more thing here. You can continue with the inscribed angle method. I'm going to still use that method, but then talk about one more way you could try it. The last one I'm looking for is angle QPS, and QPS encompasses arc QRS, that's 48 plus 96, which is 144. Dividing that by 2, I'm getting 72 degrees for QPS. Now, what we do know is this is a quadrilateral, and all quadrilaterals are 360 degrees. So once you find 3 angles, then you can definitely find the 4th angle by just taking that from 360 and subtracting, if you didn't want to use the inscribed angle method. I would say since we did question 7 together, let's go ahead and get you to try question 8 on your own. So let's pause the video here, solve for x, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. All right, one thing we know, angle STU is an inscribed angle, and I do know that 133 degrees is this angle right here. So maybe what I need to figure out first is my degrees for the measurement of arc. Let's go and do our steps 1, 2, 3. Measurement of arc STU, because that's the arc from made from angle SVU. So from S to T to U can be found by taking 133 degrees and multiplying that by 2. So that's going to give me roughly 266 degrees. So from S to T to U is 266 degrees. So that means from measurement of arc S to U, my minor arc, I can take 360 and subtract 266. And that's going to give me 94 degrees from S to U right here. So now that I know that, that's going to help me with step 3. 94 is my intercepting arc. My inscribed angle would be exactly half of that. So let's take 94, cut it in half first. I'm going to get 47, and then I'm going to set that equal to my 62 minus 5x. So 47 is equal to 62 minus 5x. I'm going to subtract 62 to join 47. I'm going to get negative 15 equaling negative 5x. That means x has to be 3. And there we go. So I feel like maybe question 8 was a little bit easier than question 7. A lot of steps in question 7. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in with me. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of guidance on what are inscribed angles and how you can use them to find missing angle measures and arc measures. Have a great day, and we'll check in next time when we review for our Chapter 10 quiz. Bye!